was so tired of feeling vulnerable in my home at night, so when I found this, I bought it immediately. Today we're gonna unbox it, test it, and then go over the pros and cons. To say this at the top of all of my videos, this is not a sponsored post. I did purchase this product with my own money. Now let's get into the video. Today we are looking at the MACE brand Pepper Spray Gun. Why is this potentially the best self-defense tool for parents? Well, because if you're a parent, then you already know you can't just have a firearm sitting around. Even if you have to have it secured, which you should if it's in your home, in some type of a gun safe, could present some challenges at night with a home intruder. Which is why I like the idea of this, because this is a non-lethal means of defending your home that you could effectively have sort of more at your reach without having it in a safe. I know you guys are busy, so I always put timestamps down below so you can kind of pop around to find what you need. And this is actually the second one. I liked it so much, I bought a second set. I unboxed this one for you guys, that it has like the kind of pop open clamshell so you don't have to cut into it. So it comes with this. I'm gonna show you how to load it, then we're gonna open it up, test it, see what it feels like to fire it. This is what it comes with. This is a live pepper spray gun, so this is the actual one that you would want to fire at somebody. And then what is in here, slide this forward, this is gonna pop open. And this is a water canister. This is a training canister. And I know it was a little unclear from their listing. It does come with a training canister. So this is what it looks like. And to load it, you literally just, a release lever here, you put, get it back over here. A release lever here, push this forward, and then this will flip up. And then you take this spray side down, and you're gonna push it. Because what's happening is a safety back here. You can see this. When the safety is on, you see this lever right here? Watch. Let me take the safety off, and now you can see that the mechanism that's firing that is pressing that canister down. So when I say that when you need to press relatively hard, you're gonna feel like at first, oh, it's not working. No, it's just that you need to press harder because it's that physical pressure from that pushing into that's causing the spray to come out. So just be mindful of that, right? It does have a safety back here. So forward is the safety. And then with the safety on, what you get is, you see that? Two different lights. And in the test that I do later in the video, you're gonna see it at night. So you can really see what it looks like. But you have a steady LED, then you have a strobing LED. The purpose of this is that it's meant to be very disorienting. When I did my test, I was like, oh yeah, I could see how that would be disorienting. But it does help to illuminate your intruder or targets. Right? So when the safety is on, if you could pull back on this all you want, it's not gonna fire. If you take this safety off, you're going to fire. And if you've ever touched a handgun, I personally have a Ruger, a revolver, looks very, very similar to this in body style. This is much lighter. Okay, so some of the things that I don't love. I wish it came with several these little canisters, because I felt like when I was doing it with the first set that I bought, I was showing it to my kids and they were firing it off, that we only really got like 3 good pulls. Each of us got 1 good pull, and then we were gonna go back through and do it one more time, and this thing was completely empty. I would say that I wish it came with 2 or 3 of these, because that would make me feel much more comfortable in a situation where I were firing this. That their whatever says 5 to 7 sprays, I would not feel comfortable with that. I would say that you could get 3 to 4 good, fully saturated shots off with this. It doesn't hold as many shots as I would like, but also, there are LED lights in here that cause this to illuminate. It would be nice if it came with a set of backup batteries, but realistically, how often are you actually engaging that light? Probably almost never. Now, I did want to mention, because I checked for myself, this is the holster for my .38, and as you can see, it does not fit. I could really push it in there, but I wouldn't be able to secure it to anything. That said, they do have a custom holster for this, and I will link it down below. They do also have a set where you can purchase the custom holster, training canister, and one of these. You just want to practice more. So question for you guys, what's your biggest concern when it comes to home defense if you are a parent? Let me know down in the comments below. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Raphaela. I cover home and family finds, usually from Amazon, but sometimes from other places. And I show you what's worth your money and what's not. So if you are liking this video, subscribe. Now back to the video. So let's go test it, and so that you guys can decide for yourselves. I printed out a target, it's right there, and I put it at basically like a man's height. And I measured the distance between the side of that refrigerator and the front door, which is almost exactly 20 feet. I'm gonna fire it from here and we'll see. Oh yeah, he would definitely have been, ooh, okay. Now let's do it in the dark. I would be very upset right now. Do you guys see that? And it's all over. So any which way he moved, you see all that water? That would be mace. Okay, little gun. What the light looks like in the dark. That's what the light looks like. That might actually be somewhat disorienting. Now let's talk about what I do like, which is obviously more than what I don't like. That's why I have two. And it does say mace on both sides. Why is that important? Well, I would be leery of, I did a post on TikTok, and boy, let me tell you, people had some mixed opinions about this. I would say be careful about pulling this out in public because you could get slapped with a brandishing charge, which is, you know, basically waving around a firearm. Even though it's not a firearm, it does look very close to that. If you were standing far enough off and I had my hands on it like this, you might be led to believe that that was a firearm. So I would be careful about pulling that out in public. That said, for me, this is more a home defense type of a situation. Roughly 7 inches long and it's about 6.5 ounces, very light. Now I would say like if I were hiking with the kids, I would feel totally comfortable to kind of push this down into my belt area and feel like I was perfectly within my rights to carry that because I hopefully wouldn't be using it on humans, but you know, I wouldn't, my point is I wouldn't have it on full display if you're out in public because, you know, if you pull out something that looks like a firearm, some people might not take kindly to that, including the police. I love that this is a non-lethal way. Let's say worst case scenario that you were to discharge this at someone in your home on accident. Well, they're not going to be happy with you. You're going to get a crappy Christmas present that year, but you're not going to kill them either. I love that you do not have to have a permit for this. This is a very low commitment, immediate way to go and protect yourself. Some people can't have a firearm in their home because maybe they have people in their house who have mental health issues or who have had legal problems in the past. So for that reason, they are not allowed to have firearms in their homes. This could be a good option for them as well. Very affordable when you stack it up against a firearm, which even on the low end would be several $100s. This is under $50. I love that I can leave this. Now, my children are teenagers, okay? So I feel very comfortable that I can leave this at my bedside now and know that they understand. If you play with this, you're not gonna enjoy what comes out. Obviously, when they were younger, I wouldn't have left it on my bedside table. It would have been, you know, sort of hidden somewhere right around me. But I think you could even get away with that with little kids. I think you could kind of shove it somewhere where they wouldn't see it, where you would have quick access to it. Now, let's talk about some of the things I really love. It's TSA compliant. If you travel quite a bit, you do not want to be without some means to defend yourself. Now, don't attempt to take it on the plane because that won't happen, but you can put it in your checked luggage. That makes me feel better when we're traveling. That's why I actually bought the second one because that's exactly where it's going. I think, and especially this is true for women that, and even children, like teenagers, I taught my children, both of them, how to use this, not on each other, but you know, siblings. That was a joke, guys. They understand, like, this is not fun. You would not want to be on the wrong side of this pepper spray gun. I think, especially for women, there would be a much lower chance of hesitation. The truth is, and you guys have all heard it, right? That when people pull firearms out in a home invasion situation, a lot of times they get them taken away from them because there's a lot of hesitation. They're afraid to use it. A lot of people who have a firearm, they don't go to firing ranges. They don't know how to use their weapon, which is the worst mistake you could ever make. If you do not know how to use a weapon and you have it in your house, you just provided your intruder with another weapon. Please do not do that. If you have a firearm, fine, great, and all of that, lock it up and know how to use it. You shouldn't have hesitation when it comes to defending your home. Even myself, I am well trained with a firearm. I go to a firing range regularly. I would still much prefer to use this than to shoot somebody. It'd never be my goal to kill someone unless, of course, I felt my life was in danger, and then you gotta do what you gotta do. I love that there's no chance of this jamming. You know, if you're using a semi-automatic weapon and you have to cock it back, I mean, that could jam if your hands are shaking and you're not familiar with your weapon. That absolutely could happen. That's not going to happen here. I mean, that's it. That's, you flick that and point and fire. I would say it's kind of freak out proof in that way. Even if my hands are shaking like this, I can still with my thumb very easily on and off this safety. A spray that comes out of here is UV dye markers in it so that you could help to identify your assailant if necessary. So the takeaway, let's talk about it. For me, this is gonna be an absolute yes. My daughter's going to have one. My son is going to have one. I'm talking about when they move out of this house. I'm gonna gift this to the women that I know in my life. And here's why. I think, and I know that there are gonna be a lot of people in the comments that are gonna say, oh, you know, I'd rather have a gun, blah, blah. Okay, but I'm not talking about replacing a gun. That's not what I'm talking about. Again, you heard me say, I have a firearm. I would rather have this as a line of defense. For me, it would be a first line of defense, depending upon the situation. I'd rather have this as an option than have nothing. Because I think what happens so many times is that parents don't want to have anything in the house because they don't want to put their children at risk. And then in so doing, they put their entire family at risk because they have no means to defend themselves. I think this could act wonderfully in a lot of situations, not the least of which is if a woman is walking in a parking lot and somebody decides they want to become a little too friendly. Pulling this out may put that attacker on, and again, please go back to what I said at the top of the video about pulling these kinds of things out in public. That said, if it's a life or death situation where I feel that I'm going to be attacked, I don't care about a brandishing charge. What's the saying? Better to be tried by 12 than carried by 6. So guys, it depends on how you feel about self-defense. Your rights end where my rights begin. I'll pull it out in a public situation if I'm walking through a parking lot and someone is getting too close to me and I've given them the verbal, hey, back off, and they're not backing off, well, then it's me or you, buddy, and it's gonna be you. I think for women who have to walk through parking lots, situations like that, where you're not gonna be pulling it out in a public situation, it's a great option. If you live alone as a woman, a great option. If you have an elderly parent, a great option. I mean, there are so many people who I feel like this could just give them peace of mind. And you know, guys, there's a difference between being safe and feeling safe. I'm not saying that this is better than a firearm. If you are a testosterone-riddled mansplainer, you can skip it or leave it in the comments. I don't even care. Where you're gonna say, oh, you know, I'd rather have, if it's me and you and I have a gun and you have that. Okay, well, in a regular situation, if you're a man, you enter my house with a gun and I have nothing, well then I have nothing. At least if I have this, we're both gonna be hurting. And I might have some chance of getting away from you, as opposed to having no chance. Please hear it in the vein that I'm saying it. This is not a replacement for a firearm. This is a tool to give you peace of mind. You could have these in multiple rooms in your home because you don't know, in a home invasion situation, you don't know where you're gonna be pinned in. You don't know where they're gonna break in. You just don't know. So something's better than nothing. And I think this certainly fits the bill for that. I see all these women, they're on YouTube and they have firearms and blah, blah, all the things. Okay, that's great. I will say of the maybe, 700, 800 women that I know, 2 of them have a firearm besides me. That's it, just 2. I can tell you of the women that I know who I have shown this to, have all gone and purchased it almost immediately. They were like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. That's great. I love that. Let me go get that. That would make me feel safer at night. So for that reason, I'm gonna have to say this is an absolute buy. Yes, 100%, but with one caveat for me. Now, I know their marketing material says like 5 to 7 or whatever it says. For me, no. It also says you can hit somebody from 20 feet away. Well, here's what I would say to that. Being that you have a limited number of shots, if I have to hit you from 20 feet away, I'm gonna have to use more of what's in the can. Here's the truth. Most people from 20 feet away are not gonna be a very accurate shot, especially not if your hands are doing like this. If you don't know how to hold a firearm, if you're not comfortable firing, you're gonna have a problem. What I would say is this would be appropriate for 3 to 5 shots from a 10-foot range. That I would feel comfortable standing behind that statement. But I will say that when it sprays, it does make a relatively loud sound, which is somewhat intimidating. If I were on the other side of that, I would run away. I mean, I wouldn't be attacking people in the first place, but do you? So I would say, yes, absolutely, I would, and do recommend this product for all the reasons that I've said. I'm grateful to this company, MACE, again, this is not a sponsored video, for them to make something like this, because this, for me, as a woman, okay, I can only speak as a woman because I'm a woman, this feels more manageable, right? To be able to point and shoot and hold my hands steady in a situation where I'm very likely to be shaking like this, and that For all those reasons, I absolutely can stand behind saying that not only will I gift this to people, that I would feel very comfortable putting my entire endorsement behind this product. I just really like it. It's a solid product. It fits a very specific use application. That use application, I can think of no other product that could displace it. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Let me know what you guys think about this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.